Doctor Who, The Masque of Mandragora, the 12th story of the 4th Doctor, is written by Louis Marks and starring Tom Baker and Elizabeth Sladen. This is the final season that's produced by Philip Hinchcliffe, but Robert Holmes stayed on as a writer until The Sunmakers. This season introduces a new wood-panelled secondary console room, which I like the design as it's homey and it feels cosy. So the title was going to be called either The Catacombs of Death or The Curse of Mandragora. Then the ultimate name referenced the Masque entertainment performed by Masque players. There later plays a key role in the plot. So the story was shot at Portmeirion. That location is best known for where the series The Prisoner was filmed. The story begins with the Doctor and Sarah Jane walking in the TARDIS corridor, and I love the book cupboard moment. So they walked into a secondary console room. Sarah Jane played the recorder that the second Doctor, Patrick Troughton, played. The TARDIS lands in Helix, which looks really cool. So they both took cover, and they're unaware that Mandragora went in the TARDIS. So they both arrived in San Martino in 1492. The Doctor mentions that he stopped using his old console room due to forced landing. Sarah Jane discovers oranges but gets kidnapped by Brotherhood of Demos. The Doctor's fighting technique is nicely done. And so is getting the Brotherhood to put Sarah Jane down, but sadly one of them knocked the Doctor out with a rock. He woke up and Sarah Jane is gone, and she gets taken to High Priest for sacrifice. Meanwhile, there's Mandragora flying out the TARDIS and burned a few people to death, which looked pretty horrifying. The Doctor gets arrested by Count's men, and I thought it was pretty funny when the Doctor put an orange on the sword. In the throne room, Count Federico questions the Doctor. He tries to warn him about the Mandragora, but instead he's due for execution because they think he's a spy. In the courtyard, as the drum is rolling, the Doctor is taken to the executioner for decapitation. It looks pretty intense as the executioner is waving his sword, even though we know that the Doctor isn't going to die. In part 2, we get a amusing scene where the Doctor said he needs to look his best for occasion, so he uses his scarf to trip over an executioner. The scene where the Doctor outruns the guards is a blast to watch. As Sarah Jane is about to get stabbed, the Doctor drags her away, and they hid. The Doctor explains about the Mandragora Helix, but they're founded by Count's guards, so they get taken to Giuliano. So they examine a corpse which looks pretty gross, as he looks like he's partly decomposing with blue stuff. The Doctor mentions that Mandragora chose San Martino because the Brethren provided a ready-made power base. The 15th century was the transition between the Dark Ages and the dawn of the Renaissance, and could gain control of the earth. Now through a new religion, the temple needed to be destroyed. So the Doctor, Sarah Jane and Giuliano goes out, while Count Federico suspects that there's something not right about the Doctor. Sarah Jane gets called by the priest. I really love Tom Baker as the 4th Doctor. He's absolutely fantastic. Elizabeth Sladen is great as Sarah Jane Smith. What can I say that hasn't been said already? She has great chemistry with Tom. John Lorrimore played Count Federico of San Martino, who's in charge of the palace. He's fantastic. Gareth Armstrong played Duke Giuliano of St. Martino, Federico's nephew. He's likeable. Norman Jones played Hieronymus, the court of the San Martino Astrologia, and the leader of the Brotherhood of Demos. He's so good in this. His blank face was pretty scary, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean.
Tim Pigott-Smith played Marco, a companion of Duke Giuliano. There's great chemistry with him and Giuliano. Robert James played High Priest, who's technically not the leader of the Brotherhood of Demos. However, he did order for a human sacrifice on Sarah Jane Smith, and I think he did a great job. Anthony Carrick played Captain Rossini, who's in charge of the guards, which I think he did a great job as well. Mandragora Helix, aka Mandragora Constellation, or Helix intelligence from pre-universe, are a spiral of pure energy that radiated outward, able to draw things into it. It looks pretty effective. I hope we see them again. There's brilliant casting, the sets are fantastic, so is the direction by Rodney Bennett, and music by Dudley Simpson. So Sarah Jane gets taken by the priest again, as Demos will not be cheated of his pleasure. Giuliano fights with the palace guards, but seemingly hurt, so the Doctor has a sword. Tom has done brilliant stunt there. Later, Sarah Jane gets hypnotised to kill the Doctor and forget what she saw. The Doctor and Giuliano finds her lying on the floor, confused. The Doctor confronts Hieronymus, and Sarah Jane's about to kill him with the poison needle, but luckily the Doctor stopped her and got her normal again. But then there's guards capturing the Doctor and Sarah Jane. They get taken to the cell where Marco is chained up, and Giuliano gets brought in as well, and he's angry with his uncle. The Doctor tells Federico that Hieronymus is the real threat. Federico wants to see, so him, the Doctor, and the guards went down to the temple to see Hieronymus wearing a golden mask. He killed Federico. As Hieronymus' mask is ripped off, he has no face, it's just glowing light, which looks terrifying. The Doctor escaped and warned others in the cell, and Hieronymus gave him the blank look. Gag is brilliant. The Doctor puts on armour, and him wearing a lion mask pretending to be a lion is pretty funny. So while Sarah Jane, Giuliano and Marco goes to the ball, the Doctor confronts Hieronymus. The Doctor gets addressed as a Time Lord. The Doctor gets electrocuted, but luckily he survives. So later, Brethren attacks the ball, but they get killed by Helix Energy. The Mandragora is back where it's from, so the surviving guests went to see the Doctor, and I love the fact that he puts Hieronymus' voice and said, "I wouldn't even say no to the salami sandwich." Gotta love Tom Baker. So in the end, the Doctor got given a salami. He and Sarah Jane say their goodbyes. The Doctor explains to Sarah Jane that Giuliano will not have any more trouble with Mandragora. Humanity will at about the end of 20th century. There's lots of great stuff in there. What did you think of the Masque of Mandragora? Let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.